Hello and welcome to another. Well, I'm just getting towards another episode now. Just getting a series of these of Meet the Streamer. Today we have Urban Bohemian, and he's a variety streamer over on Twitch. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing really well. Happy to be here.
Fantastic. So, uh, unless you go by Urban Bohemian, how do you get to your name and all the rest of it?
I mostly go by Urban Bohemian online, but it's okay. People also call me Brian. A nickname Herb showed up after a while because Urban Bohemian is a mouthful. And I'm in the states on the East Coast in Washington D.C.
Mhm. So, what made you get into streaming then?
It was definitely peer pressure. I had friends who streamed. Honestly, Tanya Cypher of Tier, who I'm sure people may know about, she was doing it and she said, "I think it's something that you would enjoy." And I tried it, and this was back when it was easy on consoles because I did not have a gaming rig at all. I was using consoles, so it was easy to just push a button and go live. And it was fun. It was the kind of thing where I was like, okay, I could do this. And it also made it nice to schedule my gameplay. I was like, oh, if I stream, then that means I have a dedicated amount of time that I get to play video games.
There is that, I must admit, where you can just to say, "Oh, I've actually got 2 hours in my day to play computer games, and I'm doing it for,"
Right.
and some people could join me. So when do you stream?
So 3 days a week right now. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Saturdays. The Saturday and Sunday is fairly early, East Coast US, so 7:30. And then Tuesdays, 3:30 in the afternoon Eastern. And then there's the odd random extra stream. Sometimes on Friday I may do I may do like a later evening
Mm.
gaming or food stream.
Yes, I did notice you do some different streams, and we'll get onto how you can do that a little later, actually. But so you've already mentioned Tanya. So that's a group Cypher, isn't it? I know Stephen Kill, who's also been on this series, the first one actually. Links in description,
Yes.
folks. So what has that helped? Has a lovely location, as it were.
It absolutely has. If not, I mean, I say without reservation, if not for Cypher of Tier and Stephen Kill, I probably would not continue streaming. It is one of the things where you see your friends doing it and it
Mm.
looks like fun, and just based on the fact that they're having fun doing it, you start doing it and it's great. And we're on a team together. I'm on stream teams with other people, and that also helps. There's just a lot of information that we can share back and forth and a lot of support that we can give each other's communities.
Yeah, that's. And did you have any worries starting out at all when you hit that button to go live?
Oh, so many things. The number one, of course, was that my internet wouldn't hold up.
Mm,
I didn't know if it would. I had never done it. I had never streamed any kind of content like that before. Like I had done live webcams, I had used webcams and messaging apps, I had done things like that. But
mm.
for me, it was just wondering. You're watching your connection. Can I handle this? Can I actually output this stuff? And then, of course, I if no one comes, is that okay? Do I still wanna do it? So, there were those things. I started out without a camera, so, some woes and worries about, like, being seen online weren't a problem, but mostly the technical aspect was what I was most concerned with.
And did you you said you started off as a console gamer, and it was the console software that helped you start. So when did you make that transition to like PC gaming, as it were? Right.
My computer failed. And I wasn't necessarily feeling like building one from scratch at that point. I was fine with a pre-built.
Yeah.
Please don't roast me, internet. I
And
was fine with a pre-built machine.
pre-boots are
Um,
absolutely fine. I think everybody started with a pre-built, so I think that whole flaming of you should build your own
I
because it's
tested it.
cheaper. It's like, I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, we all built our first, and that was hard. But surely, my
Yeah,
very first computer came off the shelf from PC World, which
right. So I was
exactly.
I was like, okay, let me buy one that has a little better specs. and can
Mm,
actually run games on Windows. Because as much as the reason I really like consoles is that at least for most games when they ship, they are designed to work on that console without needing anything extra. And a Windows machine will sometimes run into limits. So I got a gaming machine and I
mm.
started playing on Windows, and I still did mostly no camera, and then eventually I was like, "Well, let me try a webcam. Let me see if I can." I was rummaging because I have tons of computer equipment around here. I rummaged around and I found an old awful webcam. I connected it and it worked, and that was fun for a while, and that's what started me thinking, "Okay, well now it's maybe time to think about upgrades."
Okay. Excellent. That's the technical side. Did you have any or have had any issues with, say, trolls and the dark side of the internet, shall we say?
Oh, absolutely. It sucks.
Mm,
It really, I mean, it's hard not to realize, okay, yeah, you are going to get, whether it's simply people out to just be trolls, it does not
mm,
matter who they're looking for, where they land, or people who are specifically looking for you because you're a black content creator or you're a queer content creator. Um, I have friends who are femme presenting, and often, women and femme presenting individuals in the gaming community just get the most abuse simply because they exist. So there was a lot of that. There still is a lot of that. We, I've been doing this for years now, and we still get trolls every now and then. It's just, I know over time I've gotten a lot better at dealing with it. It never throws me anymore. And
mm,
I have moderators who are able to manage it. But in the beginning it was terrifying because I honestly just thought somebody was going to come in and say, "Wow, you suck at this game."
mm.
And I don't really have a response for that. It's like, I thought I was having fun, thanks. But it's
Yeah,
and so it's gone up and down over time.
yeah. Um, yeah. I don't get it. It's just yeah. It's just crazy that part of things. And you said obviously you mentioned a gay streamer, and you got the wonderful flag behind you, but it's not
Oh
one I
yeah.
recognise. So can you take us through it, please?
Oh, so this is what they call the Philadelphia variant of the pride flag. The normal
Okay.
rainbow pride, yeah, the rainbow pride flag has the six stripes, which were actually pared down from the original flag, which had eight stripes, but two of the colors were hard to continue producing. And then what happened is, just to recognize the fact that a lot of um, a lot of mainstream gay culture is
Mm,
still steeped in whiteness. So for one time for Pride in Philadelphia, they added a black and brown stripe. It was just symbolic. It was simply to say,
mm.
we're recognizing our black and brown members of the queer
It's
community.
great. Brilliant.
And of course, everyone had opinions about it, because of course they do. But I really like it as a variant, and I've seen people adding inclusive stripes to other pride flags, and it's been really nice to see.
Excellent. Great to hear. I knew a little bit about different flags, but I wasn't aware there was becoming a thing and helping people, identify them better, themselves
Yeah.
better. Fantastic. All right then. On that note, you've provided me some lovely photographs, and so we will segue into your cue the music and segue into your um, changes in your stream setup throughout the ages. See you in a bit. And we're back. And thank you for those photographs. Definitely seen some changes at a time from your console to your PC. And some of your setups, how your cooking setups as well. So, what made you decide to do your cooking side of things? Is it just a passion you just wanted to share with people, or is it just something you wanted to take the streaming?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, both actually. I mean, it's always food has always been a big thing for me. Cooking, food and drink. I started mostly my content creation before streaming was food blogging and food photography, and I saw a friend, Tracy, streaming from their kitchen, and they were using a laptop, and it was just situated in just the right spot to get the stove and to get them talking. And I thought, oh, that would be fun. I could I could maybe do that. So they really inspired me, and they do take credit for it. And that's when I ran into the interesting. By then I had already replaced my first webcam. So I said,
Mhm.
oh, I've got two webcams, and I thought about how do actual cooking shows do it. They're set up with above,
Yeah.
and I had to think about that. And it was also just trying to figure out, is this a thing that I can do on this platform? I am always trying to experiment no matter what internet online service it is. So I was wondering, first off, is this a thing that I can do? Can I pull it off? And secondly, will anyone actually enjoy it?
Mm. And has it been a bit of a success? Has it like brought your community into your room, as it were?
It has. It is technically. I know I sent you pictures of what the setup looks like when you're actually in the kitchen. What I did
Mm.
not send is how chaotic it looks in the other room. My gaming PC is actually about like 12 feet from the kitchen, and it doesn't move, so it's a mess of extension cables and hubs and drivers, and it's amazing. But people really like it, and it's something very different. I mostly sit on the couch to play my games. In the kitchen, I'm standing, I'm moving. You don't have necessarily 100% control over
Mm.
things. Things might go wrong, but I also get to talk about food. I get to talk about drinks. It turns into a just chatting stream because I do it in real time.
Mm.
So once if I put a batch of cookies in the oven, it's going to be 15 minutes of me having to do something. So it often turns into chatting. There's a lot of Q&A in the chat. So it is like having my own cooking show, and I really have always wanted that. So I love it.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
I just love the fact that for a site that mostly people think about a video game streaming, you can do something like, hey, let me just make dinner and people can watch and we'll hang out for a few hours. And at the end of the stream, I have dinner. I don't have to worry about ordering dinner because I just made it.
That's very true. I mean, trying to fitting in food and also like as you said, you're moving around quite a lot because one of the biggest things, if you're gaming, you're just sitting down for like 2 to 3 hours at a time, and it's no good for your
Right.
posture and back and etc. at all. And so you said we just touched on your equipment there with your webcam. So you started off with a C920 and
Yep.
moved on to a C922. So what are you now using at the moment?
Now it's a Sony Alpha, the A6000, the DSLR,
Mm.
and I have that set up. Um, Now I have an Elgato Cam Link, but initially I just had one of essentially they're the same thing. They're HDMI USB pass throughs that are available for easily between 15 and $20 online. But you can't configure it very well. So I used that once I got the DSLR, and it was just it it changed so much in terms of what I was able to do with clarity. When I did things, I was able to hold them up and have it autofocus. The color, everything was so much better. But even every jump I've made in webcam has always been like a bit of an upgrade. And
Mm.
when I decided on the DSLR, it was either going to be that or one of Logitech's newer ones. But yeah,
Um, and so but you don't think you'll ever go back? Certainly not back to a webcam.
no, I can't. I actually do use both webcams now for the kitchen setup,
Mm.
simply because the distance for the cable won't transmit the good signal from my DSLR from the kitchen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really could not go back. Those cameras will be great for using for other things, but on stream, this or improving this is really what I'm going to love from now on.
Cool. So moving on to your sound quality, I do love your your blue muff. It's not muffler, is it? It's pop filter, isn't it?
Right.
On
It's a pop filter. We call it now. It's a mic beanie, a
a
mic
mic
cozy,
beanie.
a mic snood. Some people have said. And for my first mic, I had a condenser, and it had the pop filter on the outside. I've never done the screens,
No.
I'm a klutz, so I hit this microphone enough on my own. If I had another thing in front of it, it would just be me smacking into it the whole time.
And it's also quite cluttering,
Um,
isn't it? They can be quite big,
it
those things.
it is, and I don't actually have a lot of space. I am on my couch. The wall is against my back, so I don't have a lot that I can really move into the room and
Mhm.
still reach it. So I always had that. Since after the condenser mic, I ended up getting a Yeti. A coworker of all people was also a fan of my stream and got me like a gift card to get something. So I ended up getting a Yeti USB microphone, which
Yeah.
was much simpler. It didn't need a power supply. It didn't need extra cables. It was
Yeah.
fantastic. And then after that, I ended up talking to Yeti and becoming part of their like partner program, and they
Oh,
provided me with
wow.
the Yeti X and the boom arm and all the equipment. So that was really nice. And I commissioned the beanie from a crafter, a streamer who crafts. And I asked him, I said, well, if I sent you the measurements, could you knit one that goes over that? So it's been fun and it's a visual treat. Like people see it and they're like, is your mic wearing a little hat? I'm like, yeah, it is.
It's a lovely touch, and it clearly works. Yeah, it's fantastic. Um, about sponsorship. How did you reach out to Yeti, or did Yeti reach out to you? I mean,
They reached out to me,
oh
but
wow.
it was definitely because I knew somebody who had mentioned a list of people,
Mm.
which one thing that I do, friends do is if we get an opportunity, we try to mention other people who would also be right for the opportunity.
Oh,
So it
okay.
kind of spreads that out. And somebody essentially got me on their radar. And none of this happened over the past year. I got partner on Twitch. A
Mm.
lot of it was just because we had a lot of eyeballs on us because we did a lot of good charity efforts, and that ended up our numbers increasing because of that. And yes, um, initially there's the thought that, oh, you get partnered, that means you get a bunch of free stuff. And no, it's not really how it works. They did talk to me. I talked to them and we had conversations of, oh, okay, it seems like you'd be right for our program. We really just want to see you using our products
Mm.
and talking about our products, which I do, but it doesn't feel like I ever have to be a heavy advertiser or shill for them.
That sounds like a nice relationship you've got with them, actually, because sometimes it's these sponsorships you see on the like the gaming news, as it were, are more exposure for them and not for you as a streamer in some respects.
Right.
And is that the only sponsorship you've received, or have you had others?
That's the major one. I recently just started talking to Astro,
Mm.
who do they do headsets, and um, I'll be talking to them about a sponsorship as well. And again, most of these for me are what they ask is that you use our product, you talk about
Yeah.
our product, and you have a link to our product. So it's very very simple and low key. And yeah, so that was it. And when the last round of Twitch partnerships went out, their Twitch did run a program called a creator growth program where they were putting new partners on
Okay.
the front page. And based on that, Elgato sent everybody in the program some items. So that is why I feel weird that I've gone from just okay, I just need this little webcam and this little microphone and this little thing that works. And now I have what people would consider like the gaming stuff, you know, like like I never thought I'd have a gaming computer. My computer has like
Yeah.
the RGB on it. The keyboard that I bought from
Ah.
Logitech has like the colors, and I'm just like, I don't really know how this transformation happened, but okay. Um, so yeah, it's nice, and it's nicer when the relationship with a company is not,
Mhm.
you're not having to pump out also a bunch of additional free content for them
Or
because
adverts or anything
yeah.
else.
Yeah, a lot of streamers have day jobs. Streaming is fun, but it's part-time for them, so they couldn't it's like you can't give them a whole additional job trying to do, like, free stuff for you all the time, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you for taking your time out for this actually as well. So, uh, so just touch in a little bit on you said, did you stream was there a moment in your that you just went big time, or was it just little one here, person here, follower here? etc. Steady growth? Was there a moment where it's like, right now, that game or that moment really made me go rocket?
It was a very slow progression. It was I pretty sure I'm not sure if I've had the same schedule forever, but it was coming back on a regular basis, playing the same game just for
Mhm,
a few hours because that's really all the time that I had. And it was a slow build. I will definitely credit improving my setup to perhaps making my stream feel more accessible, or at least what people have default expectations of on Twitch. You know,
yeah.
you expect to see the streamer. You expect to they have a nice microphone, a headset, and you expect them to have multiple scenes, and that's the kind of thing you expect. So that caused a steady slow growth. But there was a lightning strike moment, and when we were raising money for charity in
Mhm,
summer of 2020, we had a huge charity stream, and that ended up getting a lot of people coming back. And because of that huge bump in numbers, it made me increase my streams for a little while just to see if I could reach partner metrics.
mhm,
And since then, it's been nice, and it's leveled out again. I don't feel like I have to do any super extra work or extra hours or extra days. I can get back to my 3-day a week schedule, but it's still a nice low, calm number that I like.
mhm.
Some people would consider it high, others would consider it low, but the amount of
Yeah.
people that hang out is comfortable for me. Having so many people in my chat, I've done front page slots before. Having that many people in my chat is nerve wracking, and it can cause a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, yeah. That back the whole that do I look good? Is it me? Is it me? Am I good enough to be here? Yeah, I can imagine it
Exactly.
can
Yes.
spirals after one after the other. That spirals out of control. Certainly, I think any streamer has had at some level. But I can imagine being put on the front page of Twitch, which you were or have been. That must have been quite nerve wracking.
it it is. I mean, at one point, you think to yourself, I have thousands of people watching me play Animal Crossing, which I have no goals. I just run around and talk most of the time. Or one of my cooking streams was on front page, and that, like, if you think it's bad when you're having a controller, try doing it when you're holding a knife. Like, but no, it's that kind of, like, you have to lean into it and be excited about it, but
Yeah,
it's still terribly nerve wracking. Yes.
fantastic. All right, on that point, I think that's a good time to take me out the room and bring you into your stream. And I've moved strangely into your stream, and we're at your starting stream. Starting
We are starting soon. No, we're in the middle of the video. We're not
we're middle.
starting now,
Yeah, I know.
right?
Yeah, it's very true. How did we work that one out? Anyway, let's roll with it. Let's roll with it. So this is
Sure.
your landing page, effectively, isn't it? So yeah, take us through it. To be honest.
Well, it is. This is actually a prepackaged stream package that I got from Nerd or Die. I was really looking for something. I mean, like, I will freely admit that I am super gay. So I wanted something that had more of a spectrum prism type of effect, but also fairly simple. So I liked the elements of this, and it was fairly simple to put them together. And I understood that they need a screen to get ready, like something
Mhm,
like, maybe, because, I mean, and as you can see, it has a countdown. Um, so I usually give myself 10 minutes. I often don't need them, but I give myself 10 minutes to let everybody get in, get settled. I'm often making coffee or getting a snack or getting water. And I feel like it's nice because it's like that opening before the show starts in a theater. And
mhm,
I ended up making elements I ended up making the elements like the disco ball. Put that together in a video editor. The Pride buttons I ended up getting from Microsoft a few years back. They basically did Pride badges
Oh, okay.
for Pride, and I had those rotate, and those rotate all the time on screen. And then yeah, just some images for like for my sponsored content. And this works well. I usually have like Pretzel rocks playing in the background, which if I'm not going to post it to YouTube, then I have a lot more access to music. If I'm posting it to YouTube, it's limited. But yeah, so this will
Uh,
play for 10 minutes or whenever I stop it.
So Pixel Rocks is a obviously it's like an audio library, is it you pay for or something?
Oh yeah, so yeah, Pretzel Rocks has made they've essentially made deals with the artists, and
Okay.
they are allowed to they let streamers use their music, and they basically licensed it. They've handled the licensing for you, but some of that music is only licensed to use on Twitch versus being able to be licensed on both Twitch and
Right.
YouTube.
Okay.
And I'm sure if you've talked to streamers, you've probably had a lot of conversations about music.
Yes. I mean, that whole thing that which I must be it's probably about a couple of months ago now, wasn't it? When they said, "Oh yeah, play your games without your sound on." Like seriously, Twitch. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
YouTube has been awash with DMC takedowns and the apocalypse
exactly.
and all the rest of it. You knew it was coming, and you did nothing. You thought you were just, "Oh, it's
No,
nothing to do with us."
it
Fine.
would have been nicer if they had tried to work something out at the beginning, but that didn't happen, and it left a lot of content creators holding the end like, what are we supposed to do? Yeah.
Very true. So hopefully, links in the description for all these things, by the way, folks. So let's moving swiftly on into a game. Then I think.
Well, sure. As soon as I show up, hi. Um, as soon as I'm done, generally we open with a little bit of on this screen. It's like my lobby screen. There's
Hmm.
chat going on. I'm saying hi to people, anyone I've missed in chat, and it kind of lets me get into the mindset of I may just want to talk for 15 minutes about my day or about what's going on in the world. I may not want to talk much at all. I may want to hop right into the game. Um, but it just captures the same elements. My alerts will show up, and I put the game in behind me. Oops, I always get right and left messed up on my own camera.
Yeah, I
I put
do.
the game in behind me so you can see it, and yeah, so this is also nice, and it just gives it's like another waiting room to be like, okay, just in case you didn't catch me when I went live, I'll give you at least another 5, 6 minutes so you don't miss any game content. Um, but once that's done, we absolutely can go into the game,
And I
which
do
oh,
notice that your Philadelphia Pride flags disappeared. So you obviously use a green screen behind the back to.
yes, I do. For It's odd. I use it less on Zoom calls and meetings, but for my stream, I love it. It's the Elgato green screen, which is the collapsible portable one.
Yeah.
Um, Before this, I my first green screen was 4 pieces of neon green poster paper, and I taped them together and stuck them to the wall behind me. And it worked. It wasn't great because like the chroma key color isn't exactly neon, but I didn't have time to search for like a bunch of green paper, and I didn't realize blue was an option. And even then the lighting wasn't great, and I was doing it at the wrong time of day, so the sun going down kept messing up the look. But now I've definitely got it where I've got so many lights pointing at me and the green screen that it works well now.
Yeah.
And I think it makes it a little more immersive for streamers to be able to get to not take up so much real estate on the screen.
Mm.
But I love streamers who have like a nice room setup.
Yeah. I'm very
And
jealous of that. It's those people that have a room that's
it's
not
so
got that three
pretty.
version. It's so nice. Yes. It's so pretty.
Um, and
Thinking
I've
from a
I've been having
certain
so much
friend of
fun.
ours, sound effect there. So pretty.
Yes. And it also let me do fun things. I forgot to get it from the kitchen, but I have one coffee mug that is green that perfectly keys out. So, I'll be holding the coffee mug here and the game is coming through me. Sometimes in streams, I've worn a green tank top as a channel point redemption. That way, it's a very weird effect. I don't know why anybody would want to see it, but it's just like may as well play with this because like I always love the special effects in movies, and now I get to have a little bit of it in my house.
And that interaction with the audience, and with the mug and the tank top. Obviously, that it's a way of linking to them as well. You coming in, with them coming in and watching you.
It really is. I think part of what makes this entertainment that we do, this type of entertainment, is that it's interactive.
Mm,
It's not really just like watching somebody on TV or in a movie. We are reacting live to whatever they're saying most of the time in chat. So I think, yeah, that adds an extra layer to it.
fantastic. And to control all these you know, moves between scenes, do you use a Stream Deck?
I do. My Stream Deck has grown over time. I think once you start, you can't stop. So I
More is
had the
better.
Stream Deck Mini, I had the regular size, and now I have the Stream Deck XL. And I like the XL because so for anyone who doesn't know, using a Stream Deck, you have options for the buttons, but you can also create folders that spawn onto other buttons. The problem is I can never remember what's in what folder. So the fact that I can have more things on screen is fantastic for me.
Yeah.
That's a win for me. Um, and it also it lets me a lot more easily handle things like, I have like little stingers like confetti and disco, which I'm sure like it's not
Uh,
it's no secret that there's disco on this channel. And like a love heart, and it lets me switch to like welcome raiders in. It activates things in chat. It activates things with the Streamlabs chatbot that I use for my moderation.
mhm.
It's really made things so much easier. Before this, I had things because the software I use, OBS Studio, will let you put pretty much anything to a hotkey.
Yeah.
So I had a bunch of hotkeys, and I also had a huge list over here of what all the hotkeys were because I couldn't remember. So it was great, and I always tell people you don't need a Stream Deck or an external USB keypad or anything, but it's nice because it takes a little bit more work off you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if you're a one-man band going through, or one-person band, should I say, going
You
through the
really
different
are.
things.
I think a lot of people don't realize that about streaming is that you are producing and starring and directing all of that in your own entertainment. So the easier you can make it on yourself, the better.
Yeah. And when raiders come in, how do you greet your fellow raiders?
Okay. So hold on. It's this screen. I won't I have a Stream Deck button to switch to this, but it automatically starts a video under me. So what I did was I really just wanted to be goofy and silly. I think raid videos are wonderful. They're fantastic ways to welcome people into your chat. I just wanted to do something a little more fun and interactive. So I recorded, I wrote up a script and recorded it in the style of an airline safety announcement. And then I played with it in Audacity and I kind of made it sound like it was over an intercom. Um, I will play some of it now, just so you can. So what happens is people come in. I say, sit back, relax. My mods are also now in on the joke, so they'll say, "Oh, we're gonna walk through the cabin, passing out snacks and things like this." So when they come in, welcome, Raiders. We know you have a choice in Twitch streamers, and we thank you for rating Urban Bohemian. We hope that you'll enjoy your stay and consider following so that we can see you again soon. So that goes on for like that's like a 45 second or so, and I'm often miming. I may pull my disco ball up, I may drink coffee while it happens. I had an actual printed out vintage safety brochure that I sometimes will like do the whole thing, and that sometimes I'll just sit with my fan and just like sit here like this. It lets me still like be here and be live, and it's not a pre-recorded video.
Yeah.
um, but I also feel like it's a great way, no matter what you do, it's a great way to welcome people to your channel so they know this is the kind of goofiness, humor, content that you're going to get. And with me, it's generally pretty goofy.
With the disco ball and the yeah, just going full
Oh,
out on the
okay. Well, I can't. I'm sorry. I have to now. You said it.
oh,
You
I'll have to. Oh,
summoned it.
okay, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
Is it going to work for me?
is it gonna work?
There it goes. There it goes.
Hey.
Wait for it. So that's also a set of Stream Deck actions, which you won't be hearing You won't be hearing now because it actually my audio doesn't route through the computer, it routes through my headset. So, but
So you're gonna hear
it's
the just joy. Don't worry, we'll put some music over the top of this so you can see. Yeah.
thankfully it is safe. Thankfully it's safe for YouTube and Twitch, so that's fine. But yes, so this is a set of Stream Deck actions that it activates. It turns on. I use nested scenes, so scenes
Mhm.
as sources. So I have my webcam. Then around that is another scene that's the border, and the border has the disco, the mirror ball behind it. And then what it does is I have another scene that is any of my gimmicks, whether it's confetti, whether it's the buttons up there, whether it's like the snow or the hearts, they're all on one scene as well. So it just turns off the buttons and turns on the disco ball for like 25 seconds and then flips it back when it's done.
So for all these budding streamers out there, I've just seen all your little tricks there. I'd say called tricks actually. I think it's probably quite a way of saying it. Good way of saying it. So what would be your if someone's starting up, what would you be your like top 3 hints and tips?
For a setup, I would say that you absolutely want to have a starting soon screen because that just gives you time. Even if you don't put a timer on it, it gives you time. Like, say the dog ran through and knocked something over, or, you really need to go to the
Mm,
bathroom right before and you plan to go on. Starting soon screen lets people know that you're live, you're going to show up. It just, give you a second. And then the game screen is pretty much essential,
mm,
obviously. And then a credit screen. Everything else is really because you want to do something unique. And I
mm.
also encourage anyone to find that unique thing, find that funny, that odd, that
That
weird,
like
that
hook, as
strange
it
thing.
were.
Right. That, it even if, everyone else may have the same hook. And a lot of people have very similar gimmicks. Gimmick hook on Twitch. But as long as you enjoy it and people can tell that it's genuine from you,
Mm.
then I think that's a good thing. Um, so yeah, in terms of setting up your streams, that's what. Oh, and learn how to do scenes as sources because it will save you so much time. My webcam now looks the same. I used to have multiple copies of my webcam throughout my scenes, and every time I changed it one place, I had to change it everywhere else. No, now it is everything is just its own scene that I bring in as a source. So that made it easier to do.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
And I think you just mentioned your credit screen. So let's go to the
oh, yeah.
last bit, the credit screen.
Absolutely. So yeah, when it's time to say goodbye, I come over here and I've got my chat. I've got the credits. This is a Streamlabs browser source. I did a little bit of CSS on it. I
Mhm.
do web development for a living, so I did a little CSS on it to add my emotes to it and to make it two column. And often, what I will attempt to do is read all the names that have come up before they go off screen, which can sometimes be great and sometimes be a little disastrous, but it's just a nice way to say thank you. And then
Particularly with some of the names, particularly with
oh
some
my
of the names that
goodness,
pick. Oh my lord, I
it's
can't say that.
ridiculous. Um, and I borrowed this from Steven, like the game is behind me. So Steven Kill, I borrowed that, putting the game right behind me because I did make the game go away, but I'm like, no, it's kind of nice.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, and from here, I actually have hold on, where is it? There it is. On my Stream Deck, I actually have another timed button that will send these items that you're seeing to chat. That sends my raid call, and then after a timeout, it'll list it'll have a command that lists my socials, my social media,
mm,
and then my Discord if people want to join that. But mostly, it just lets people know like if we're going to go raid another stream, here's what to use to let them know where you came from.
yeah,
And it's a nice raids are just a lovely way of sharing that community around Twitch. Like,
yeah. I think
hey,
it's
we wanted to be in.
vitally important.
So, and then, from here I'd start the raid and I would continue talking. In the beginning, I always got the timing wrong and I would be trying to say stuff and I would either be too short or too long. But
And
now
we'll
it's
just go
pretty
to
much
gone.
exactly exactly. It was exactly that. I'd be like, okay, and about oh, another piece of advice: don't forget to stop streaming even after you raid or host, because you are still live, and
Yeah, I've done that one before.
sometimes a friend has to send you a DM that they can still see you.
Eating your dinner you just made through your stream.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Like, okay.
So in the first section, shall we say, when we before you went through your streams, you said you did quite a lot of charity work, and it was quite big for your streamers, your own stream itself. But what sort of charities did you? Who did you do that with? What charities did you do, and how did that all come about? And how important it was to you?
Well, I'm on so with Team Cypher, and that is the team that was started by Cypher of Tier for during the summer. We had some political protests in the US, and we raised money for the Bail Project, which was essentially just making sure that people who were protesting in advancement of social
Mm.
justice were able to pay bail for the cash bail system. And the reason it was a lovely charity is that it's a revolving bail fund. So once that is paid and it's returned to the system, they actually get to use that money again. So
Ah, okay.
that was a really great fundraiser that we did for that. And I'm also on another team called the Wookie Cookies, and a big part of that team is charitable fundraising. That is the one thing I think that all of us have in common.
Mhm.
So I have raised money for um, oh my goodness, I've raised money for St. Jude, St. Jude, um, St. Jude Hospital. Um, I have raised money for Extra Life. I have raised money for Trans Lifeline, the Trevor Project, um, wow, Transgender Europe,
Yeah.
the Transgender Law Center. I try to pick charities that don't necessarily have a huge spotlight on them,
Mhm.
because when it comes around, a lot of people will be looking for the same charities to raise money for because that charity does a huge push. But a lot of other charities, they're not even set up with the normal fundraising. They don't have Tiltify, and essentially what we do is we just collect the funds and we send a big PayPal payment out to them. um, and those are interesting because it's weird how much they almost appreciate it more. Like then you'll get a personal letter like thanking you and your streamer community for it. So it's been a big part, and it's nice to be a vehicle for
Mhm.
people to do good and to give money to good causes. And I also can't deny it makes you feel good
Yeah.
as a streamer. I will tell anyone who's nervous about doing charitable fundraising. It's really simple. It's very easy, and the feeling you get, it's just incomparable. The feeling that you get from doing it, and
Mhm.
being able to know that you were just doing what you normally do. You were sitting online playing games, or you were crafting, or you were cooking, and you were a good vehicle for people to donate money to a great cause.
Yeah. So you're only using your own and doing something you love, either cooking, whatever it might be, and you're helping some causes which feel very personal to you as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. Um, so where now well, you are partnered. I'll say now you've reached partnered. You've been partnered for a little while now. Silly boy. Should have done my research before we started this interview. So so where, so where
I'm still not used to it myself. It's okay.
okay, excellent, brilliant. So where do you see your stream going then? So
um It's interesting because I know some people feel but that becoming partnered on Twitch is the end all be all,
mm,
and for some people it is. It's a nice goal. I also want to state that becoming a partner on Twitch is a combination of reaching a certain number of metrics in 30 days on the platform
mhm,
and writing a good essay. It's not a magical ticket to fame or sponsorships or that. It's just sort of from a personal level. It's a measure of your commitment to do this
mhm,
again, whether part-time or full-time. And from that, I've enjoyed being able to continue doing charitable fundraising, but mostly I want to maintain, and I want to let people know that there is a balance to be found. As I said, I have a job, and Twitch is part-time for me, and it's still okay for me to do that. It's okay for me to say, I'm only going to stream for about 6 hours a week, like the
mm,
whole week. Whereas some people do 5, 6 hour streams multiple times a week. Um, and I'm older. I also want to let people know, like, this is something that you can continue doing. I'm an old school gamer back to video arcades, the first home consoles, the first home computers, and gaming has been something that I've loved doing. So it's nice to be essentially, pushing 50
Mhm.
and thinking, this is still something that I get to do all the time. And I don't know, in terms of a future, I just want to keep maintaining that balance between like Twitch is a nice thing I do that brings me joy
Yeah.
and never let it get to anything beyond that to feel like it's a job. It is a job, but to feel like it's work, to never look forward to turning on the camera, I don't ever want that to happen to it.
No.
Um, and I also want to encourage others to know that you can do other kinds of things on this platform. You can sit in your kitchen and cook, or you can just decide to talk, or you can craft something. You don't always have to play games. There's a lot of content that you can create, and it's not just playing video games.
No, it is huge Twitch, and I think when we spoke to Solzy, the last one and the last lady I spoke to, she's a content supporter. She, helps people with the technical aspects and etc. And she said some people seem to think that Twitch is just for gaming, YouTube is just for how-to videos, but in reality,
Right.
it's both platforms are wide and varied with their content. Do you think you would go into other platforms like YouTube, or are you just happy with Twitch, happy with that, and going forward in that sense?
I am happy with Twitch. I have in the past, I have tried to produce videos for YouTube, and they were an extension of my website, which is a
Mm.
personal blog. So it's a personal journal.
Okay.
And I tried doing videos that were also sort of like vlogs, but I never really found the right rhythm, and it could be because there's no interaction. I'm just talking as opposed to with Twitch, it's live. So that might be it. Again, I had a very rough setup, so I also didn't like the way they looked. I didn't have the skills or the tools, the equipment to make them look better. So I have done videos just for YouTube since being on Twitch. But in general, I think the majority of my time will be spent streaming on Twitch.
Cool. Okay, well, I'm out of questions, I believe. So, do you have any things I've missed you'd like to say, or give a reminder of where we
Um,
can find you?
let's see. No, we covered a lot of fun stuff. It's been a really good conversation. You can find me on Twitch, as I said, 3 days a week at twitch.tv/urbanbohemian. And if you enjoy tabletop gaming content, I'm going to be in season 9 of Rivals of Waterdeep.
Ah, okay.
Twitch.tv/Rivals of Waterdeep. It is a Wizards of the Coast sponsored D&D live play show, and I am really looking forward to it. I'm super nervous, but other than that, I think as you are also a streamer, you can attest. Content creation is not easy. Uh, do not enter into this if you're not really sure it's what you want to do, and when you do enter into it, don't feel like you have to spend all the money in the world to do it.
No, probably not. Fantastic. And on that bombshell, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from.
From Urban Bohemian, Brian, thanks.
See you later. Fantastic.
If you enjoyed this content, find links to additional videos to subscribe to Peter's Slack on the left and right side of this video. And you can find links to my channel and my teams, Team Cypher, Wookie Cookies, and Rainbow Arcade below.